Hello everyone. Today, New York is starting to feel a little chilly. How about where you are? Let me know in the comments what the weather is like in your city. As the first cool winds of early winter begin to sweep through the streets of New York, I want to talk to you about a theme that might not be new, but always lingers: loneliness. And to explore it, I invite you to join me in the world of The Stranger, L'Étranger, by Albert Camus, one of the most iconic existentialist works of all time. Meursault, our protagonist, is a young man living in Algeria. He works a dull office job and leads an ordinary, almost meaningless life. But what makes Meursault truly a stranger is not his circumstances. It's the way he perceives life, with a cold indifference, a detachment from everything and everyone around him. From the very first line, Camus throws us into the abyss of existential solitude. Mother died today, or maybe yesterday, I don't know. This opening sentence doesn't just shock us, it signals a man completely alienated from his own emotions. At his mother's funeral, Meursault doesn't cry. He drinks coffee, smokes cigarettes, and observes people with chilling calmness. But this isn't emotional numbness. It's the reflection of a deep existential loneliness, the loneliness of someone unable to connect with the world or even with his own feelings. When Marie, a former co-worker, expresses her love for him, Meursault accepts it with detachment. She asks, "Do you love me?" He replies, "Probably not." She asks, "Do you want to marry me?" He answers, "If you want, we can." In moments where love should bloom, Meursault remains a distant observer, forever standing outside life's warmth. The real tragedy comes when Meursault accidentally kills an Arab man on the beach. But in court, he isn't condemned for murder. He's condemned because he didn't cry at his mother's funeral. Society cannot tolerate someone who doesn't conform to its emotional rules. Meursault becomes more isolated than ever, realizing that he's a stranger not just to others, but to the world itself. He's sentenced to death, not for his crime, but for daring to live truthfully, without pretending to feel what he does not. In the end, facing death, Meursault finds freedom. He accepts that the universe is indifferent to human existence, and within that indifference, he discovers peace. He embraces his solitude, and in that acceptance finds a strange joy. Facing execution, he finally understands, "I was happy, and I am still happy." This isn't madness, it's enlightenment. When we stop resisting loneliness and start embracing it, we find inner peace. In our modern world, we are often the opposite of Meursault. We fear loneliness. We fill the void with noise, parties, shallow relationships, likes, and comments. But Meursault teaches us that running from loneliness only makes us more estranged from ourselves. Perhaps the greatest lesson from The Stranger is that we truly mature when we learn to live with loneliness, not as a burden, but as a companion. Meursault, in his ultimate solitude, discovered the truth about life, that every one of us is an island, and accepting that truth is the only path to true freedom. But unlike Meursault, we don't have to wait until death to realize this. We can begin now, by seeing moments of solitude not as emptiness, but as opportunities for self-understanding. When you eat dinner alone, go to the movies alone, or face a difficult decision alone, that's not isolation. That's your soul growing. There's a truth we all know deep down, but rarely admit. We come into this world alone, and we leave it alone. Our first cry at birth is a cry of solitude, and throughout life, loneliness walks beside us, quietly shaping who we become. But have you ever thought that true growth begins not when we erase loneliness, but when we embrace it as part of who we are? In today's noisy world, where likes, shares, and comments measure our worth, we're terrified of silence and solitude. We fill our days with endless conversations, shallow distractions, and frantic busyness. Yet the more we run, the closer loneliness follows, like a shadow we can't escape. There's a hidden beauty in loneliness that few recognize. It's in our loneliest moments that we truly meet ourselves. When the world's noise fades away, when expectations vanish, we finally hear the quiet whisper of our own heart. That's when we realize loneliness isn't punishment. It's a gift, an invitation to understand ourselves more deeply. Think of the greatest trees. They stand tall and solitary, growing strong in silence. Loneliness gave them the strength to root deeply and reach for the sky. We're no different. It's through solitude that we uncover our inner resilience. So, my friend, don't fear quiet nights alone. Don't fear solo walks or solitary journeys. Those are the moments your soul is learning to grow. When you can enjoy a meal by yourself, watch a movie alone and feel content, make decisions without seeking approval, that's when you become the truest version of yourself. Loneliness teaches us the meaning of true freedom. Freedom isn't about having many friends. It's about not needing anyone else to feel whole. Freedom is standing firm on your own feet, even when no one's there to hold you. But living with loneliness doesn't mean rejecting love. On the contrary, when we understand and accept our own solitude, we can love others more genuinely, not out of fear of being alone, but from genuine appreciation for connection between two whole souls. So, if you're feeling lonely today, smile and say thank you. Thank you because your soul is growing. Thank you because you're discovering your hidden strength. And remember, on the journey of becoming who you are, no companion is more faithful than your own solitude. Because ultimately, learning to live peacefully with loneliness is learning to love yourself completely. And once you can embrace your own solitude, you'll realize you were never truly alone, because you've always had yourself, your truest, lifelong companion. Our not-so-lonely walk through New York ends here today. If you enjoyed this walk, don't forget to like and subscribe, so we can meet again in our next strolls around New York, with many more stories to share. Thank you, and goodbye for now.